Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Sagittarius December 1, 2022. Energies are complicated in the first part of the day, when Mercury opposes retrograde Mars. Frustrated anger can emerge through your words, or you're on the receiving end, and frustrations come through the communications of someone important to you. It can be unsettling or nerve-wracking, but it might also help clear the air. Nevertheless, conversations can be hasty and rough around the edges. Watch for some combativeness and arguments about what was buried in the past. Matters of time, energy, and opinion can flame up. As the day advances, it's easier to detach and focus on what's in your best interests. You can benefit from the steady, productive energy of a Mercury-Saturn influence. Negotiations are likely to be fair and fortunate. The sun is breaking through the dark clouds just for you today. Mental Mercury, the planet of the mind and communication, is speeding along in the heavens and will reach out across the sky to a polite Saturn, the planet of balance, practicality, and longevity. This ensures that you can see eye to eye with a significant other about plans you'd like to make for the long term. You should feel more grounded and firm in your beliefs and endeavors rather than volatile or chaotic. The best thing to do is to have a heart-to-heart to discuss where the two of you are and where you'd like to grow. Conspire with your colleagues and work friends about the next step. It is time to share your goals, aspirations, and ideas when Mercury in Sagittarius opposes Mars retrograde in Gemini and sextiles Saturn in Aquarius. Play around with a few different ideas during these talkative transits. You may find that there is some editing left to do before you commit to an aspiration or passion project. But be mindful of how defensive you may get over your professional ambitions. Not everyone will have the same vision as you do. In a case of perfect timing, the moon returns to your financial sector on the same day that Jupiter, now in direct motion, moves into his final 3 weeks here, but while Neptune is still in retrograde motion. With both at a standstill, the moon's return will ensure you are emotionally and intuitively engaged, as the planets of luck and dreams are holding both new and old doors open at the same time. You may hit a wall today. That is, whatever you are trying your hardest to accomplish could reach a climax of some kind. Maybe you will break through, maybe you will break down. Be prepared to meet the challenge or the celebration with a steady grasp on reality. Be especially attentive to your needs while you work. Drinking water throughout the day is a must. Examine your desk, chair, and computer setup. Is it ergonomically correct? These kinds of considerations will steer you toward greater awareness of what's to come. Have you ever thought about becoming a storyteller? Perhaps you've considered writing a book. The vibration from this essence is one of giving outwardly in the form of teaching. Teaching through metaphor is one of humankind's greatest treasures, and its appeal is truly timeless. Consider exploring this area today. There are professional storytelling groups across the country, and in every part of the world. You may just tap into a real passion. Check it out. The moon is tracking through a pivotal part of the heavens this week, connecting with the planets that will shape the rest of this year and beyond. After leaving your relationship sector today, the moon will not only return to your financial sector but on the same day that Jupiter moves into his final 3 weeks here. Jupiter only retrograded back in at the end of last month, but just 6 days after turning direct he is on his way back out again. However, there is a lot the planet of luck and expansion can do in 21 days, with the moon returning to ensure your financial instincts are sharp as you begin that journey. While the moon will leave your relationship sector today, a friendly aspect between Saturn here and Mars in your friendship sector will continue to tighten. As well as leaving you more emotionally engaged, growing support is giving you a chance to look to the future with confidence, whether single, in a relationship, or between relationships. Our eyes in the sky. Try to get in some light exercise before heading off to work, and try to avoid grabbing that extra cup of coffee, or it could lead to a case of the jitters. Today has a cerebral vibe that might get the better of you, making it important that you ground yourself and focus on your breath throughout the day. Should you begin to feel overwhelmed, take a step back and rest, if only for a few minutes. Watch out for a communication breakdown this afternoon when the moon shares an off-kilter connection. Choose your words with care while this energy is present so you can avoid arguments. Your ability to understand any situation is good and you're able to undertake any sort of mental task. Equally, you're communicating without any difficulty, so possible negotiations or similar conversations turn out to be successful. You also find your general level of curiosity is heightened and you're keen to acquire knowledge and learn as much as you can. You apply yourself to a subject that has stimulated your interest over a sustained period. It's easier for you to obtain the necessary focus you need and you're more motivated than you have ever been before. Use this newfound enthusiasm and concentrate on making contacts to solve any outstanding issues needed for a successful outcome. Luckily, the energy transforms this evening, which should help you quickly release any unpleasant thoughts or situations you found yourself in today. The cosmic weather is quiet today, until Mercury in Sagittarius opposes retrograde Mars in Gemini, provoking a war of words. Offensive or defensive language is unlikely to help us make our point. We are nervous and quick to anger, and although we may have good talking points to back up our arguments, we are apt to flit from talking point to talking point without finishing our thoughts. Our inability to stay on topic means that civilized discussions can quickly devolve into yelling matches. We are still in a long lunar void, of course, which began last night, and must attempt to remain patient now, even if someone is intent on getting up in our faces. If possible, avoid electing this day to finally air out long-held grievances. Guard against the perils of extravagance and overindulgence in any way you can. Your current fantasies are unlikely to be fulfilled, they're just excessively optimistic. Try not to feel so dissatisfied with your circumstances and be as realistic as possible, instead of needlessly having such impractical feelings and yearnings that ultimately don't make you happy. If the response you get from prospective dates is not always positive, consider how your approach might be improved. You may want to ask what you could change about yourself. Becoming more self-aware can help you understand what to change or at least help you appreciate another's point of view or not. It will be hard interacting with people today. You overreact to the smallest things and feel completely misunderstood. It would do you good to take a step back, clear your thoughts and start tackling the arguments in a calmer way. In the late afternoon, the moon enters Pisces, ending its void of course which began late last night. Over the next 2 days, our creative and spiritual senses are enlivened. This is a time to trust our intuition, examine our subconscious workings, and get in touch with the numinous and liminal. It is an ideal lunar period for working with divination techniques like tarot or scrying. Artistic pastimes such as painting or making music are also favored. If we are stressed, bathing, showering, or relaxing near bodies of water can be rejuvenating.